guys, Dandelion Song here. I'm going to look at this word excellent. I was looking at this. Oh, come on, please be in focus. Here, I'll get this in focus here. Oh, good. Now it has X, like exit, cell in it, and ENT. At first I didn't spell this right. This is an oath. This has to do with life. And exit, I don't know what, X, so many interesting things about X, but exit has to do with time, because if you take this X apart and you spell this word backward, you take the two V's here, you go like that, and exit is time. And the idea, I believe, of this world is to exit time. Time is kind of like, you could see it as a trap, you could see it as evil, or you could see it as a hurdle. You could see it as a graduation. You could, there's a lot of different ways that you can see this. I feel stronger if I see it as a challenge that I accepted. And I do remember a few lifetimes where I accepted stronger challenges than this. They were off planet, different planets. So time is a challenge for sure. But I don't know. I like to think of things in terms of challenges that are good for me, rather than, snares waiting for me to step in them or something like that. Okay, so just to formulate more of the idea of X. Now on the top, I'm gonna this is my sign for the Menorah Gematria, which is basically this code right here. Sorry, it's all scribbled up. Did that while I was watching the movie last night. I almost have that memorized now. Do you guys almost have the Menorah code memorized? Let me know. Okay, so then down here is the symbol gematria. So in the Menorah gematria, we have a 5 and a 3. K and X are 3. And C and P are 3. Then this is a 3, and this is a 5. And this is a... I always think of L as being next to M, and I know that M is a 1, so that makes these 2s. 5, this is also a 1, and then this is a 7. There's only 2 that are 7s, it's the G and the 7. So X is an 8. I like to break these down for the syllables. This is a 12. Interesting, because that's a circle, right? Or an egg. When you think of it in terms of the zodiac, where the 13th would be in the center, right? And then this is 13, so this would be the 76 type of idea. See the 6 and the 7. Over here we have a 5 and a 24. So that's a 29, and then here is a 3, 5, and I'll write the whole 24 out like this. Now every place that we have 2 L's, it's symbolic of Noel, Noel. Know both of the L's. So life represents both aspects, right? The light and the dark, both of the L's. The light magician, and the dark magician. I guess there's dark musicians too, but okay. So this is, I'm having trouble because I have to look through the phone to see this. Okay, so this is 32, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yes, and then I was before I was noticing that, you remember from our other video that life in the simple gematria equals 32. So life equals 32 in the simple gematria, and cell equals 32 in the Menorah gematria. Okay, then here's 5, 14, and 20. So this is a 34 and a 39. Now, if we add this whole thing, this whole part, I like to add these up in chunks. So this would be 20. And then this whole thing on the top of the Menorah gematria total is 33, which is the Freemason number. And then here we have, if we just add this part up, that's a 61. So it's interesting that excel, now I wonder if this means exit the cell or exceed the cell or something like that. Well, this 61, this is a church number, and this to me has been a number of false ideals. So possibly the idea of excelling is a false ideal, right? Because it's basically a race to nowhere. And then here we have the oath, so we got to add the oath in here. And then we have 100. Now, I had just, in an earlier video about pi, we just found out, oh, actually, no, I think that I erased that because I was wrong. This is my little pi cheat sheet. It shows that, I'll have to tell you, I think that there's a pi placement code of where you add the digital, the numbers after the digit, the decimal point. Gosh, I am so sorry. I was like not talking today. And I had thought that at the 17th digit of pi, where the number is, where is it? It's the 323, and the 23 ends on the 17th digit of pi. And then as you can see here, the 17th and the 18th digit of pi is a 38, which is the death number that we just came up with in the other video. And then the 18 and the 19th has to do with Obama. Well, I'll find out. I thought one of these was 100, but I'm sorry. I want to double check that before I bring that to you. There's actually quite a few things more about pi that I want to bring to you. So, but excellent though would be, you know how they like pi is 25. So this would be kind of like a cross of pi. Do you see what I'm saying? Each one of these would be pi. So that's the idea of excellent. All right. I don't know. Should we throw the prints in on the same video? This word I wanted to bring to you because it has the 6-5 ratio in it. 6-5 times phi squared is approximation of pi, and this is the idea that the 6-5 is the person who has a foot in both worlds, a foot in destiny, because phi is the golden mean. This is destiny. This is the way that the true creator, not Yahweh, the true creator of love, created our world and created us to work with our world. And our world is, it shows fractal perfection, which is basically the golden mean. And then pi is the idea of holiness. And the way that these two interact, this would be us, this would be the perfect human being, the holy human being, and how the human being interacts with the perfect creation. Well, this ratio here is pretty important. So the prince would be somebody who has a foot in both worlds. And actually it's interesting because the number itself has a foot in both worlds. This is the number of the field, and this is the number of the balance of the 5 elements. Earth, water, wind, fire, and spirit. So in is 23 in the simple gematria. This is the simple gematria, and this is the Menorah gematria. PR is if you look at it just side by side in the simple gematria, it's phi. See the 1618? That's PR. Public relations, pro. So many important words have to do with this. So it basically has phi right in it. Plus it's you could see, this goes to my theory of that P by itself is a cursive, it's a lowercase phi, because if you spin it, it looks like this. And then here you have the manifestation. So this would be the birth of phi, or the birth of the fractal, the birth of the perfect creation, right? PR. Okay. So from the birth of the perfect creation came in the person who could see. So this right here is the open circle without, this is the sea. You could think of it as the womb, you know, the waters of the womb. Does not have, you know, the Q aspect there. Doesn't have that yet. It's just waiting. And it's the Trinity. So if you drew this like the upper chalice, like I showed you, there's the upper chalice and the lower chalice. This is the Trinity. And that's why the C is the 3. Now this lower star right here is the pentacle. It's the interaction between the upper Trinity and the lower part of the chalice, which is, you know, this is as above, so below. This lower part of the chalice, these are actually triangles. The pyramids on Earth are symbolic of the evolution of human consciousness. And this star right here is the star of Ra, and it's symbolized by the 5 or the E. And it shows, and this is the and it shows in the ancient, like the Sumerian, tons and tons of ancient artwork shows various gods, which would be Anunnaki, pointing a trident at the star of Ra, and then it opens into a Vesica Pisces, which again goes to this type of fertility or the Holy See type of idea. The Holy See would be the mother goddess of the heavens, the sky goddess, the ancient sky goddess Mut. Tefnut is the grandmother of Isis, Ishtar, Inanna, Marie, which would be the mother of the perfection, the perfect person, Christ. So here we have through phi, or perfect creation, and this is just talking about the simple gematria. Now up here it's also very interesting, but through this comes down, because this is a downward facing trident. Hold on, because the 3 trident. I'm sorry. Badly drawn pentacle, but the 2 is on top, so it's a downward motion, comes in. Now the N is a sound, and the 9 is the dream self. The ego is manifest, I guess, through sound. And that's going in. Okay, so this is the idea of the prince. Then over here we have the C and the E, which side by side is the 35, which equals I. I adds up to 35, so that doubles the idea of the seeing. Well, the prince not only is, you know, born from this, but also he has the ability to see. That's why he has this, he has a foot in both worlds. And this is the whole meaning of this word. I'm just unpacking this word for you. I'm not actually making this up. I'm just back engineering what they already, this is already hidden in here. I'm not making this up. I didn't get it from a book. It's just that this really is in the meaning of this word. So this is the idea of seeing. The prince can see, those who have ears to hear, those who have eyes to see. That kind of idea. All right, well, this whole thing adds up to 65. Okay, then on the top, this is the Menorah Gematria. So you have the P here. So again, you have the idea of seeing right here. This is also the number for the UN. They believe that they are seers. They believe that they have the right to have a craft and to change the world. That's the whole idea of the UN. In here has the 6. So we have the 8 and the 6 here for PR and IN. So we have, see the 8 and see the 6. So we've been seeing a lot of 6s and 8s lately. And then here is another 8. Now, very, very interesting. Very interesting. This is why I love this Menorah Gematria. This is why I think it's worth it to spend the time on this. Prince, see the 868. The White House, just trying to draw this. It has 6 windows in the center and 8 windows, 2, 3, 4 on each side. So the White House is structurally, architecturally an 868, and that's why it has this commanding presence when you look at it, because you are subliminally aware of all these codes. You don't realize that you are, but you are affected by them because you are a frequency being, and you were designed to live in this beautiful fractal environment that was created for you, and you were designed to understand it, and that's why you are aware of these numbers, and that's why the people in control have decided to manipulate the numbers so that they can manipulate you subliminally on your very most sacred lower level, how you interact with Phi, how you interact fractally, how you receive the fractals. Like if you go out to the lake and out to nature, you take a deep breath in and you feel good, you are drinking in the fractals, and that is how you're supposed to live. When you come into the city and you see a commercial, these frequencies are thrown at you and they affect you. So when you see this building, you think a lordly manner. Well, anyway, Lord also has the 868 in it, because this is the 33. Yeah, oh yeah, 33 was up there, which reduces to a 6, and this is a 12 and a 4, which is a 16. Now, I haven't done this type of gematria. This is what I would call a valence field simple gematria, where you just take the simple gematria, you find the core, and you find the outer valence filled in. On the outer valence field, you can, if it's divisible by 2, it's meaningful. So there would be an 8 on each side here. And this basically, this whole word is rotating. Word is another number that has the OR in it. Okay, so that's a 23 and a 4. So this is a 27, which doesn't divide by 2. So you would just keep the whole idea of the 27 in this outer field and the 6 in the inner field. So that's probably important. I should probably look at that, because that's a 9 and a 6. See that? 6 and 9, that's the arch, the Freemason arch. Talked about that a lot. But anyway, I want to show you how Lord and Prince matches, you know, even with the architecture of the White House. All right, lots of scribbling here, you guys. I hope you like that. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.